Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. This is Rag Florida Fishing. So this is the big news. I got a 14-foot John boat, and I'm gonna make this video to kind of show you guys what I do to it. It's pretty much the same exact thing I did to the original rag rig, but now I'm gonna record it for you guys and show you what I do and how I do it and what materials I use, and it worked pretty well for the original rag rig. And the reason I got this is because there is a leak in the boat and I cannot figure it out. And on top of that, the trailer is really starting to rust real bad. I would rinse it off every time after I would use it, and I don't know, it just got on the internal of the beams and kind of rusted from the inside out. So we're gonna take this boat and we're gonna make it our own and make it as nice as possible on a pretty good budget, like budget friendly. So guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to work. All right guys, so I got the boat off the trailer. What I'm gonna do is I have some 80 grit sandpaper here, and I'm just gonna kind of give the whole boat a nice little sand down. Get anything that could be embedded in the paint that's already there. Plus I'm going to use a spray bed liner to paint the bottom of the boat. The way that I look at it is it kind of just seals, these are older John boats, the rivets can go bad, all that good stuff. It kind of could just seal some of those rivets that may be a little bit weak or may have like a little bit of a leak in it. So we're gonna get started on sanding, and I'll see if I can fast forward this, but we're gonna get started. All right, so one thing I did forget already was removing all the stickers and decals from the hull number and the boat. Obviously, we don't want to go painting over that. So what I do is I have this little heat gun I got from Harbor Freight for super cheap. I actually use it a lot, and it's pretty darn good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up all the stickers, because I don't know how long they've been on there. But and then I have a little razor blade with a little handle. You can just use a razor blade, it doesn't matter, you don't need one of these little things, just gotta be careful. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start removing all the stickers and finish sanding and rinse her off and then get her ready to paint. All right guys, so we have all the stickers and hull numbers off. So what I'm gonna do now is I have some acetone and some paper towels, and I'm just gonna go through by where those stickers were and try to get off all the adhesive. If you're painting a boat like this, when you paint over it, those old adhesives are gonna be, it's gonna be a different, it's not going to look right. It's going to bubble up the paint and not look smooth like the rest of the boat. So we're going to take the adhesive off, and then I'm going to hose the whole boat down and kind of get it prepped for paint already. All right. So we use the acetone to take off the adhesive, and because it's smooth now, we're going to go back over with the sander so the bed liner has something to stick to when we spray it on. All right, so now we're going to hose the boat down. We don't want any of that dust from the paint that we sanded off, or any other imperfections, grass, bugs, anything like that that could be on the boat. We're gonna spray it off, give her a wipe down, and then time to start painting. All right, guys, so we have the boat rinsed off, sanded down, and I went ahead and dried it off. It was drying because of the wind, and thank God I wiped it off, because all this would have been trapped under paint and could have affected the finish of the paint, the integrity of the paint, and it wouldn't have looked right. So we're glad we wiped that off. Don't forget to do that. Learn from my, I guess, experiences, because I never did that before. I'm just kind of in a rush. But yeah, guys, let's get to painting. All right, guys, time to paint. What I'm using is Rust-Oleum truck bed liner paint in black. I get it off Amazon. I think it's six cans come in the box, and I think it's like 60 or 70 bucks for the 6 cans. This is what I used on the rag rig, and it's worked pretty darn well. But yeah, we're gonna get to doing the old rattle can paint job. See you guys when I'm painting. All right, guys, so we're ready to paint. I will say, if you're using this much spray paint, grab one of these little Rust-Oleum handles, because your forearm and these little like muscles and tendons in your forearm after spraying for a couple hours will kill you the next week. So what I do when I'm spraying, kind of give it a test spray. All right, and then we're ready to go. I just do long, sweep, thin coats. The first coat isn't going to be super thick. You just kind of want it. You just kind of want it to. Oh man, this grass is blowing up on the boat. Just long, thin. First coat's never the biggest, so you just want a thin little coat. It is pretty windy, so I may have to be a little bit closer than I would normally like, which can give you drip. The paint can drip, so. Alright, so that's essentially how one of these panels would go. Still have plenty of paint left. But I'm gonna set the camera up and let you guys maybe get a fast forward of how I do the rest of the boat. Alright guys, so this is after two full coats of the bed liner, and I'd say it looks pretty darn good. It's still pretty wet, so you could see like some lines from the spray and all that stuff, and you could see like right there's like a little bit of a drip, but and there's a couple spots where like the nozzle was getting gummed up and drops on the boat, but like there's like these little leaves that were falling off the tree next to where I'm painting in the backyard, and there are definitely going to be some forever leaves in the Rag Rig 2.0, but it came out pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed. So yeah, this next clip, we're gonna let this cure for a couple days, so let this dry and cure and harden, and then we're gonna put it back on the trailer. Oh, you know what? We're probably gonna keep it off the trailer, and I'm gonna paint the inside and put a deck in, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so we're here for, I guess, part 2 of the new John boat. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to start painting or sanding the inside of the boat, painting the inside, and kind of getting measurements for the deck I want to put in. The same thing happened with the original rag rig. The sheets of plywood are not as wide as the deck of the boat, so kind of what I do is I'll use the corner of the plywood as a like that's just going to be the corner of the deck, and then I add a small piece, I drill it into the other side, and then I'll cover it and polyurethane it for water protection. But yeah, guys, we're just gonna jump right into it, start sanding, and get it going. All right, guys, so I did a really light sand on pretty much everywhere where I'm going to be painting. I left the area where the deck will be on the seats and stuff. I will overlap paint just so it doesn't look like two colors. But just did a rough sand. I'm going to use my little blower and blow out all the debris, fill the boat up with water, get all that, the dust out, and then wipe it down with a towel, and pretty much at that point it's time for painting. All right, guys, so I got the boat sanded down, washed down as best as I could. There's always going to be little things in the like dirt and debris in the little gunnels in the inside of the boat where the water will flow through. The places where I'm going to paint is already dry, so what I'm going to use is this Rust-Oleum paint and primer, just a gloss white for indoor outdoor use. I'm going to use this on the spots that I'm not walking on. So this is going to be the sides of the boat, the seat, all those areas, and the gunnels. And then for the floor, which realistically it's only this spot from here to here that I'm going to be walking on, I'm going to be using white Flex Seal. It's going to be like a little bit of more rubber coating. What I did for this boat, I did buy stuff to make it like the paint like gritty, like give it a grip, and it didn't work. So what I ended up doing was spraying and throwing sand on the wet paint, and then just doing another coat, sand, coat, sand, and then one final coat to make the sand white. And it actually worked really well, way better than the stuff that I bought. So this is all stuff based off of the original rag rig and just kind of what I seen work, what didn't work, and this is what we're doing now. So we're gonna get the boat painted, and I'll get you guys after the first coat. All right, guys, so this is kind of what the boat looks like right now. It's still not, I didn't do the last coat where I've done already. This part I'm going to put like a sea deck on the seat. So I painted it white, but I'm not really too worried about it. And then obviously the floor here, I'm going to do the Flex Seal. But I just got a good coat of the white on where I needed it. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. It's like on and off drizzling, and it's still windy as crap. So all these little leaves are falling in the boat. But I mean, it doesn't look too bad right now. This was, I think, three light coats with the wind blowing pretty good. So I'm gonna do the last coat with my sunglasses off. That way I can pretty much see everything. But yeah, this is so far what it looks like. All right, so now we're going to rewire the trailer. Pretty much I bought this trailer light kit from West Marine. It was like 50 bucks. Comes with all the wiring, everything that you need. I did buy shrink wrap and connectors from Harbor Freight, and then I just got wire snips, electrical tape, and then whatever screwdrivers and sockets you need to remove the existing lights and stuff. The reason I'm changing them out is the exterior wiring on the wiring is they're kind of like brittle and beat up, and the taillights are both cracked off. So it should be pretty easy. What I'm going to do is take the existing wires, tie the new wires to the existing wires, and then just pull them through, and then you're wired already. So we're going to get that going, and we'll put this on a fast forward and show you guys kind of what we're doing. All right, guys, so it started raining when we were doing the trailer. We ended up finishing it up. It looks awesome. Everything works. Lights look good. There's a license plate holder that comes in the kit, and yeah, this is all pretty much ready to go. The trailer's set, but for now we have to build a deck, which I'm probably least excited for in this project, because I remember doing it with the rag rig, that it was extremely difficult. So the two big measurements are the length from the bow to the, I'm going to have it run from the bow to the end of the seat here, and the distance from the end of the seat to the front of the seat, so that I can build a hatch, right? So, and then I'll explain everything that I'm doing with that later on in the video. But yeah, I'm gonna start getting some measurements here and get the piece of plywood kind of cut to a rectangle. And like I said, it's not gonna be wide enough for this seat, so we're gonna have to do some adding to the deck on the sides there. But yeah, guys, let's get started. All right, so I got my plywood here. I measured how long the deck has to be, so I measured a few spots down the piece of plywood, took a chalk line, whatever you want to call it, and made the line. So I'm going to make a cut there, and then this piece of wood is 2 inches too narrow, so I'm going to have to take some scrap wood from somewhere and just add it to the side. With that being said, I'm going to have to make this deck off center, because I'm going to have to use, so I only have to add it to one side. I'm going to have to make this an edge right here, and I'm going to have to cut like from not centered in the board. So I had to do the same thing with the last boat, but yeah, we're going to get this cut, save this piece of wood, and then start measuring out the deck and all that other good stuff. All right, so the wood's cut, and I'm doing an audible here. I am going to make everything center from the wood, and I'll just add 1 inch of wood on each side. So the bow of the boat is 32 inches wide. So what I did was, you never trust how big these pieces of wood are from the store. So I measured each side, it is 48 inches. And then obviously the middle of 48 inches. The middle of 48 is 24. So I put a little mark right in the center. And then knowing 32 inches is how wide the end of the deck needs to be, I took my tape measure, put the half of 32 is 16. So I put 16 right on here, marked off the ends right there. So now I know kind of where my cut needs to be on the outsides, nothing inside of that. So I'm going to try something a little new. I'm going to take a piece of tape and mark down the widths of the boat down the piece of wood. That way I can mark it all the way down and kind of have like a nice curve to how far I need to cut into the deck. All right, guys, so I'm trying to work a little bit quick here, but what I did was I didn't use the tape idea. What I ended up doing was just, here, let's zoom out a little bit. I just measured from the end of the deck to 16 inches and got the dots that I need to cut on for the outline of the deck. And then I did dead center of between the front deck that's manufactured in the boat, and we got 45 inches here and here. And then I measured out the hatch. I'm gonna take a chalk line and square that out, or you know what, maybe I'll just use one of those a level. But and then from the front of the bow of the boat to the end of the deck, I did another mark here and here. So I'm gonna just kind of, you know, do a slow cut all the way and just kind of connect the dots. I'm going to cut super wide, and then from there I just kind of sand down with a heavy grit, and then you know, smooth out all the edges and kind of go from there. But the big thing that helped me in this project was the center point. Everything is based off the center. The deck where all these other measurements are coming through, I have a ton of marks all over the board already. But yeah, that's kind of how this is going so far. All right, guys. Well, the deck is cut and the hatch is cut. Fun fact: make sure your bucket's not where you're cutting, because you'll ruin your bucket. What I did was I just I drilled 1/2-inch holes in each corner, and then just took the jigsaw and cut through. I sanded all the corners down. And now I am going to use this polyurethane as like a sealant. This is not treated wood. It's what I used for the original rag rig, and it worked pretty good. Eventually what I'm going to do once this is all sealed is I'm going to take 2x4s and run supports from the seat all the way up to the front seat, both sides, and then supports coming this way for the hatch. So I'm going to start polyurethane in this and the hatch, and I'll probably do 2 coats each side, and then we'll get to drilling the 2x4s in. We're going to coat them too, and then get everything start putting everything back together. All right, guys, so the deck cover and the deck is polyurethane. I took some 2x4s, kind of framed them out to where they won't hit the seat or the seat up front, and just kind of give a little bit more support. I'm going to throw some 2.5-inch wood nails, I marked them out underneath already so I know where they're supposed to be. I want an inch on each support, and then 2 inches on the front, and then an inch everywhere else. So I laid them out how I want them, and then I'm going to flip it over and line them up from the marks I made and start drilling them in. All right, guys, so the deck is polyurethane, and I threw the supports in for the latch, and it was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but especially with one person, but was able to get it in. We're going to let all this dry and cure and start doing carpeting and put the latch on. All right, guys, so I have the whole bottom of the boat painted. This is actually the second time I've epoxied the bottom of the boat. I bought this Fasco Super Slick epoxy coating. With the first boat, all I did was the bed liner on the whole boat because the trailer had rollers. After taking the boat off the trailer for the first time, I realized that this trailer did not have rollers. It's just bunks and the bow roller. So I knew that the bed liner is a rough consistency, and I knew it wouldn't slide up on the bunks easy. So did some research, bought this stuff. The first time I used it, since the boat was already painted black, I just did no dye to the Super Slick. Painted it. It dried pretty quickly, actually, but it dried to the color of like Elmer's glue. It was like super white. So what I did was I painted black over it again, and then I bought another round of Super Slick, and I bought the black dye. This stuff is super easy to use. Just follow the directions. It's straightforward. I'm not the smartest man on the planet, and I was able to figure it out. You do part 2 into your container, and the 1 ounce dye mixes perfectly with the 1 pint selection. I got it off Amazon for I think like 60 or 80 bucks. Do the whole pint of part 2, add the dye, mix it, then do the part 1, mix it thoroughly, and then you're ready to paint. I just got done with it, and it's got a pretty good finish. It's not like exactly smooth. I did, from the first time doing it, realize that I had to use a epoxy roller because I was using a normal paint roller, and it was all getting stuck to the hairs in the roller. But obviously you could see there was some drippage. I thought I was going to be able to be okay with it. I have a couple extra cans of bed liner. I'll just kind of sand that up or spray over it, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was super easy to use, went on good. This is a 14-foot John boat, and it covered it. I had some to spare, I still do, and I went over it twice. So I just did the bottom. That's going to really be dragging on water, just for, water drag and getting it on the trailer. So that's what I did here. And then after this cures, I'm going to get back on with you guys, and we're going to go over the decking. All right, guys. Well, this is the boat all done. I know I didn't really do as much as I should have on the rest of the boat as far as the decking, and I think that was pretty much all I did in the epoxy, but it came out real good. Let's see. You can see the bottom is like super shiny, and already it helped me out because I had to rebuild one of the bunks, but it came out super nice. I added cup holders just like I had in the other boat on the seat and the bow of the boat. Because of this Super Slick stuff, I have to now tie the boat down because this boat slides right off the trailer. The gas can that came with the boat was a 6-gallon, so I just took the fitting from my old gas tank and put it onto this one, and so far so good. It'll give me a little bit more time out, a lot more time out on the water. It's doubling my fuel. But yeah, I think the boat came out phenomenally. If you could see, remember how I said that there was a gap in the level of the front step and the back step here. I threw a 2x4 underneath the deck in the back and the front of the seat. So there's like one right here, and I think there's one like right about here. And it leveled it off perfectly. To get the trolling motor to stay on here good, I shimmied up a little shim, I guess, to keep that going. And then there's a gap right here. This is not a permanent fix. I just put some spray foam in here just to kind of fill the gap a little bit. And then in my hatch here is the battery. I actually glued it down this time so it's not bouncing around all over the place. Ran the wires from the trolling motor here, and then the motor is electric start, so I have those connections right here. And West Marine did not have red positive or red 8-gauge wire, so I used green. I just know it's not black. But yeah, I got my paddles, my life vest, my little dry box for my wallet and keys. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And this is what the little supports for the hatch look like now that you could see. But yeah, she's good to go. She looks beautiful. I'm very happy with how she turned out. When you're using the bed liner on the side here, hole numbers don't stick. I've learned that for the second time already. So my fingers are covered in super glue because that was the route that I chose to take, and I wasn't very patient because I was rushing to get this done to fish today. But yeah, so here's the whole boat, and I think it came out pretty darn sick. I'm very, very happy with it, and we're about to get on the water. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.